Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tushar Agrawal, associated with Tyron Systems as product manager. Today, I have Anurag with me, who is again HPC manager, and will also walk us through the presentation. So there is the agenda. Today, we'll discuss about HPC, what TCF and storage offerings we are having, system offerings, interconnects. We have mixed workflow environment, which is future of HPC, GPU optimized AI ML solutions, Tyron qubits, and after that we have Q&A session. So we Tyron systems are hardware providers and large SIs, serves multiple verticals with over 7,000 customers. We have 400 successful HPC installations. We have cloud deployments. We serve a lot of big data deployment, AI enabled 100 plus organizations. We have presence at around 5 countries. We have 3 integration units. So very proudly, I can say we have deployed India's fastest supercomputer. Let us walk us through to our headquarters. So we are our headquarters based at Faridabad. We have HPC burn-in test lab, HPC observatory lab. We have in-house supercomputing lab, complete HPC expert team. Also, we have 300 plus HPC node test facility. Tyron is having its own R&D cluster with parallel file system. Thanks. Now over to Anurag.
Thank you, Tushar. Just sharing screen. Hope this is visible.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I'd like to thank you, Kodavade sir, for giving us the opportunity and to discuss on this topic. Although some of the group members are already seems to be well versed with the subject, I hope they too picked up the few ideas about the specific uses from this webinar. Well, to begin with, we'll first understand what is the traditional HPC, its components, and the solution. And then we'll see how this HPC is going to change from a traditional HPC to a mixed workloads. To begin with, I'd like to give you a showcase of the HPC architecture. It consists of 2 master nodes and the series of compute nodes. As you can see over here, now the number of compute nodes depends on the core requirement. As the core requirement increases, the number of nodes can be changed. Apart from that, there's a different architecture of a storage over here, which is connected via IO servers. Now this entire solution, the underlying hardware is connected via 2 different networks. First one is primary network, which consists of InfiniBand. Second one is Ethernet network. All the Ethernet network consists of Ethernet switch with 1 Gbps or 10 Gbps required to have a communication between the nodes for installing the operating system from master to compute, and for managing the nodes where there is a huge HPC. It becomes a complex task for a system admin to go and check all the compute nodes are stable or not. In the robust system of middleware, we can have the entire report and the health system of all these compute nodes within the web portal, which is communicated via management network, where the Ethernet network is used. The primary network, where we use InfiniBand as a primary connectivity, it consists of 100 Gbps network. Earlier, it used to be 56 Gbps, and so on. Gradually, it is getting increased. Now it is coming in 100 Gbps and 200 Gbps. You can see all this compute and storage is connected to a single switch of InfiniBand. Now this setup is called as fat tree topology, which has been widely adopted by HPC environments, which is also simple in implementing and a very reliable technology. Now let us go through each component of this HPC. Master node. Generally, it is also known as a head node or a login node or master. It uses to communicate between the entire cluster and manages the user environment. Then the compute node, consisting of a minimal OS by disabling all the unwanted daemons and to offload the compute, which is only used for computing the resource been submitted by the master. Then comes the interconnect. We use InfiniBand as an interconnect. Obviously, the reason of using InfiniBand because it supports the multiple connection and the concurrent users, and it has the IO standard of new generation servers hardware platform. As we see, the rapid development of CPU is taking place. The performance of system has become the bottleneck, which is restricting the performance of server. Let's take an example of Formula One driver. He has got a world-class engineering engine backed up by a powerful fuel, but has got the restriction of driving it on the speed of 60 kilometers per hour. Imagine that doesn't make sense. Similarly, if you are having a high compute resources, a high IO storage, but you don't have the communicating channel on a higher bandwidth, that will never give you a higher performance from the HPC system. Then comes the operating system. Well, this is the first thing you need, the stable kernel, which can be used by CentOS, Red Hat, SUSE, and so on. Then comes the middleware and job controller. The next important thing for HPC setup is the middleware, which consists of MPI libraries such as OpenMPI, MPICH. These are the libraries you'll use for creating parallel applications and running them on the cluster. Each node needs to have the same libraries for the MPI applications on all the same nodes. Now this requirement is filled by a robust technology which consists within the middleware. Then comes the job controller. Your cluster management tools, your job queuing system like PBS or Slurm and others resides on the job controller things. Then the queuing of your jobs, everything you can configure from this level. Then comes the application, which is a final layer of your HPC setup, where you'll have to install all the required applications by the various domain expertise. Tyrone cluster management. Now, when we are talking about the robust technology, we mean the solution like Tyrone cluster management. The reason behind, in today's world, where we need everything in few clicks, nobody would like to spend days in installing and configuring all these applications. Majorly, the group of members in this webinar are from computer science department. So we people understand compiling of applications and installing it. But there are various domain research scientists, they use a different level of applications. So to understand all this application and to run it, it becomes a complex task, and generally it takes days to install it. But the cluster management like TCM, we have got this integrated within all our systems. So I'll show it further. Now this cluster management consists of remote managed systems. That means you can manage and use this cluster tool from anywhere within your network. Then we can have a quick addition, deletion, and management of your all the compute nodes. This entire utility is based on GUI. So earlier, when the system admins used to work on CLI mode, which was always a complex operation, and other than admins, we used to get a difficulty to understand all this architecture. But now with the help of web GUI, we can have entire thing within the single dashboard, and this can be accessible via our internet network, can also be clubbed with the netting so that you can access it outside network. This is already integrated with the cloud building technologies to take care of upcoming workloads, which I said as we can when we move to the mixed architecture. It has been supported by InfiniBand, and also you can use it for configuring the virtual machines and physical operating systems. Now you can see the dashboard over here. This entire dashboard gives you a multiple informations about the cluster. You can see the number of nodes which are available within this cluster, what is the health status of those clusters, the number of users which are already created, how many users are active, how many users have submitted their job, the graphical representation of resource utilization, the CPU utilization, the disk, the memory, and also the network bandwidth that has been utilizing with various instances. While configuration of the entire HPC, you can see there are steps that has been defined over here. According to the user requirement, we can follow this installation steps, and we can also see if there's an error or any missed steps between that. This tab gives you an overview of the repos that we can manually create from the TCM. Then we have the cluster management tool that has been integrated, Ganglia. We have various job scheduler like Torque, Slurm, PBS. We also got the, as I mentioned, we have got the InfiniBand support now. Now that means your InfiniBand adapters, which are connected to all compute nodes, can be remotely installed. The drivers can be remotely installed from our TCM itself. So you don't have to log into the nodes and do that part. This can be done via simple click. The sharing of your home partitions, the apps partition can also be done from here. Now, when we say a robust system, we have ensured to take care of all open source standard industrial applications. The list mentioned over here belongs to various departments and research segments which are widely used in today's date. We have got this integrated within our system. So if the system admin has to compile these applications within the cluster, he has to only select the in which framework he has to compile it, whether it is a GCC or whether it has to be done with the Intel compiler. The thing what he has to mention is the source path of the application, the destination path where it has to be reside, and any flags that has to be installed within this application. Coming on to the storage solutions, the storage part is very essential part in HPC because all your fragility of data, your post-processing data, and your backups are stored over here. All your profiles are also mounted on storage. Coming on to the high performance parallel file storage. This is based on a Lustre, which is an open source distributed file system, especially designed for scalability, high performance, and high availability. The Lustre file system architecture is designed to take care of scaling the solution and distribution and object-based storage. Now you can see there's a building block of PFS solution, which is shown separately over here, which consists of metadata server, MDS, and object storage server, OSS. The metadata server controls the allocation of storage objects for a file content when it is created, manages opening and closing of the files, including the file deletion and renaming and all the stuff. The OSS provides the content of Lustre file system on a bulk level. It is usually configured in a pair which is connected to a shared external storage enclosure that stores the OST. Now these OSTs are accessible via two servers in active, passive, HA or failure configuration. OSTs are mounted on one server at a time to evenly distribute it across the OSS nodes for balanced performance and minimizing the throughput. So let's say if there are a number of 16 clients which are working on the same distributed sharing file, writing the data in TBs, that times when there's a load comes out, this OSS manages that load. This comes with the high-speed 100 Gbps network and a 200 Gbps, which is soon going to be rolled out. The performance of this storage can reach up to 10 Gbps, and yes, we also have higher throughput storage solutions tailored made for requirement. Then there's a unified storage solution, which has been also widely adopted by HPC solutions, where there is a small set of clusters and it requires to be used within the integrated SAN storage or a NAS storage. Such products plays a very important role. Now, the beauty of this product is the same product can follow your SAN protocols, can support your NAS protocols, and also a virtual tape library. Since we have supported all the NAS and SAN protocol, it becomes a unified storage. Now, this storage can give you a throughput of around 4 Gbps bandwidth. Then it can be easily scalable from TBs to petabytes, and it becomes an all-in-one solution. Yes, it also comes with an InfiniBand support, which is used in HPC environment. It gives you a single interference to manage all the unified storage and gives you the options to configure your various shares according to your requirement. Yes, this comes with both technology that supports high performance SSDs and high capacity hard drives, which gives you an option for tiering of your storage part. Now here are some of system offerings. We have a huge range of products, but some of them are mentioned over here. The all-flash NVMe drive. This systems consisting of NVMe can be used in an ideal situation where there is an high-scale AI DL inference and training part is required. Then we have a 4U 8 node. This is a dense form factor, highly available server, which consists of 8 nodes within the 4U, which shares only the power and the backplane. So each of these nodes is individually serviceable, and all these architectures are available in both Intel and AMD platform, and single socket to dual socket with a huge memory bank. Similar to that, there's also another form factor that is a 2U4 node. That means within the 2U form factor, you can have 4 such nodes which are individually serviceable. Now there's a GPU, which is an essential part of upcoming technologies, where it supports the leading GPU architecture, including NVIDIA GX2, NVLink, NVSwitch technologies, ideal for AI and TL learning solutions, and the virtual desktops as well. We have a huge range of GPU products starting from 1 GPU to 16 GPUs, which can be shown in the next slide. Then there's a storage. Now you can imagine earlier if we have to scale up from terabytes to petabytes, we used to have the scaling of rack. But in nowadays, we can have this the petabyte solution within the same server, which is a top leading server models, and you can mount the hard drives from top. These are all serviceable on high hot swappable kind of thing. It supports from 45 bays to 60 bays to 90 bays. So you can imagine all this 90 bays can be populated with 8 TB of hard drive or 10 TB, 12 TB, and 16 TB. The interconnect. The diagram shows over here how InfiniBand becomes efficient with Ethernet network. When there is an Ethernet network, it communicates from application to the OS kernel, then to the NIC, and then to the other compute node, and similarly till the application level. This losses increases the latency and losses the time taken to complete the job. Wherein the advantages of InfiniBand, the RDMA, gives you an option to communicate from application to directly to the HCA and another HCA of the compute node. This offloads your kernel, offloads your CPU performance, bypasses your kernel. So you always get an efficiency speed. This is one of the model which is showcased from the Mellanox HDR switch, where this switch consisting of around 840 ports, each port consisting of 200 Gbps bandwidth, and this can be extended up to 80 numbers of nodes by splitting technology. So each port can connect two number of compute nodes with 100 Gbps. Yes, this can also be supported with a backward technology up to 56 Gbps network. Here we covered the traditional HPC and its components. Now, to take this further, I would like Mr. Tusharji to take this from traditional HPC. How can we change it to the mixed workloads? Over to you, Tusharji.
Thank you, Anurag. You have nicely explained complete HPC part. So in continuation to that, I will take you to further my slides. So mixed workload. When we talk about mixed workload, there are certain queries which always comes in my mind. Flexibility. Is usage is going to be constant? No. Optimization. Is optimal utilization required? Resilience. Do we need application to run all the time? Scalability and speed. And most important, ease. I think you all agree with me. So just to start with, what actually mixed workload is. So in an organization, there are multiple workloads. So we don't need to create a different infrastructure for each and every workloads. So just to take an example, we have a GPU set of workloads. We have big data workloads. We have virtualization based workflows. We have videos, bare metal PCs, labs, HPC, audio file. And there are many more workloads which is not mentioned in this slide. So do we really require a different infrastructure for each workload? So we have solutions available for that. So let's take an example. So let's say user will be accessing a virtual desktop, and that virtual desktop is connected to a cloud manager. So let's take a brief of Tyrone Cloud Manager. Tyrone Cloud Manager consists of three components. Tyrone Cluster Manager, which is used to create virtual machines, containers, managing your storages, and other components. Parallel file system. Anurag have already covered this part in his previous slide to manage storage. And most important, Tyrone Cloud Source, which is used for servicing, log management, and monitoring. So the basic idea of cloud is not only creating a different infrastructure, but to have an interoperability between those infrastructure. How these things are really helpful, I'll give you a brief detail. So you have a bare metal machines available. On top of it, you have OS. And then we'll run our OpenStack shared based service. These services will manage your virtual machines, your containers, manages your storages, as well as network. Once that is done, you can create a different environment like big data, virtual environment, your HPC environment, and many more. And this all can be managed by a Tyrone Cloud Source. So this contains your service management, log management, and most important, monitoring of your complete infrastructure. So let's take an example. Since we are talking about the future of HPC, so we'll understand how this mixed workload and the cloud environment will help us with the HPC. So this is a basic architecture which is having your compute, your storage, your networking within a cloud. So how easy it is to create a HPC environment? So Anurag have already discussed that two components about. So the basic components for HPC is master and the compute nodes. So let's create a master node. So you can create a virtual machine or container, then assign a user resources to that virtual machine or container. You can install OS. After that, you create a master node. Then we create an image of that master node. So what is the importance of this image? I'll explain you. Same thing we will apply on the compute node. Once that is done, we created an image for master node. We created another image for compute node. Now, depending upon our infrastructure requirement, we can create a complete infrastructure. So with us, we require 2 master nodes for HA and approximately 10 compute nodes for compute. So within 3 minutes, you have your infrastructure ready with you. So that's the power of cloud. So we also have a software defined network available with us. So you can easily get the connectivity of all the master and compute node. Apart from that, we also have option to add any storage solution, whether it's a block-based storage, file-based storage, or a object-based storage. So in continuation to that, how mixed workflow act? Let's take another example. So once we create a cloud infrastructure, we have a strong monitoring tool, which helps you to understand how many virtual machines you have created, how many resources you have utilized for your CPU, how many RAM utilization is there, what is the status of your storage. Likewise, accordingly, you can dedicate your resources to your different infrastructure. Now, take a different example. So this is a lab setup. In the example where you have already designed your HPC infrastructure, which is at the right hand side. And now here you are going to design a lab infrastructure. As we mentioned that you can create a different images of your OS, of your HPC node, of your different software containers also. So here you also got an image repository. So example, you have a lab setup where you want to install a Spark on all the machine, because different students keep on coming and they use different workloads. So on the fly, within 3 minutes, all these machines are ready with that. Now let's talk about the interoperability. So you are working on a lab with a different workloads that cannot be handled by a single machine. So you want to run those workloads on your HPC infrastructure. It is easily done. So just to conclude that, we have seen that the queries which we raised on our first slide, that most important thing is flexibility, optimization, most important scalability and speed, and ease of using. I think we are getting all those things from this. It's not only just HPC or your lab. You can set up multiple environment on a single infrastructure. Now let's move to GPU optimization and AI ML based solutions. So some of you are definitely aware about DGX system. So DGX, whenever we talk about AI, ML or DL based kind of a workloads, DGX systems are there. So they have 4 variants available: DGX Station, DGX1, DGX2, and newly launched DGX A100. So DGX Workstation contains 4 graphic card. Likewise, DGX1 is having 8 graphic card. DGX2 is having 16 graphic card. Newly launched A100, DGX A100 is on the AMD platform and contains 8 A100 GPU cards. Now let us understand how we can take the advantages of containers in GPU systems. So over the last few years, there has been a dramatic rise in the use of software containers. Containers encapsulate an application dependencies to provide a reproductive and reliable execution for service overheads of VM. A Docker mechanism container is a mechanism for bundling a Linux application with all the dependencies. That execution environment always same on whatever Linux system or OS you are using. Docker containers are user made only. So all the kernel calls from containers are handled by host system and kernel. This GPU architecture uses Docker container as mechanism for deploying different frameworks like AI, ML, and different softwares. So let us understand what offerings we are having. So this is a Tyrone Qubit cloud-based solution. So what is Tyrone Qubit's cloud? So like I have explained that we have a repository of huge amount of containers and VMs available at cloud. Same thing you will get it on Tyrone Qubits. Not only GPU-based workloads, GPU-based containers, we also have a CPU-based containers available in this cloud. So example, if you want to run a TensorFlow kind of a framework within a single machine, you don't need to do a complete installation. You can directly pull that container from the cloud. What is the advantage? Within a 20 seconds, your installation is complete. You also get very high speed kind of advantages because containers are very lightweight. So Tyrone Qubits work with all the compatible Tyrone systems. There are a lot of advantages. As I mentioned, it is there for both the GPU and CPU optimized containers. You will get access of 100+ containers from Tyrone Qubit Cloud. You can run different applications simultaneously on a single system. Design and simple workstation, or you can create a large cluster. Qubits will help you. And most important, it is very high scalable and very affordable price. So if you have any query, you can talk to our experts. They will help you in building these kinds of a workload. So there are certain GPU systems which are available with us, which help you in design your complete infrastructure with the help of Tyrone Qubits. So we have a system available from 1 GPU up till 20 GPUs with very small core based from single core to a multi-core kind of systems available with us. So to conclude with, we have a large deployment, and now I would like Anurag to take over and explain you further slide. Over to Anurag. Thank you.
Thank you, Tusharji. I hope this is visible right now. So now we have installation in various countries across the globe. For the cloud, we have deployed in Australia, Singapore, India, UK. The few of the product offering which I mentioned on my earlier slide. Apart from that, we have a tailor-made solution according to your requirement. This URL mentioned over here gives you a solution of configuring your requirement according to your compute resources and powers. So over here, you can have a wide range of systems up to 400 and 500 models, and you can select according to your requirement. I would suggest you to go online and just check it out.